Where does every journey start? For most people, the answer would be at home. But what if you don't live at home? Then you have two options. Start from where you are now, or go home first and start from the beginning. I like to start from the beginning.
At least you know you love the boy. It's why you feel your world's destroyed. His father replied from the other side of the door. Not his area of expertise, no, plenty of fish analogies. He said you'll have to eat eventually, son. Oh, easy cry, girl, don't you cry. People gonna love you, then they're gonna leave you, that's just the way of life.
The topic, Utopias for Justice and Peace in Europe, sparked many ideas for me. In the end, I settled on one that is not so directly related. However, it is an incredibly simple link. There is no real justice in the world until every person has the opportunity for shelter. The basic privilege of calling somewhere home. London was a natural first destination for me. Not only because it's the first stop on train lines to major continental European cities, but also because it has been the destination for many Irish journeymakers for centuries. Here, I also started to learn more about my topic. I learned that in 1998, more than 1 in 10 users of homeless shelters in London were Irish people, even though the Irish-born population totaled only about 1.5% of the city's inhabitants. Around the same time as these figures were coming to the fore, a report detailing inadequate legislation aimed at preventing anti-Irish discrimination in the United Kingdom was published. It struck me that these issues, which I was taught about regarding the migration of my compatriots in history, are almost the exact same as those faced by different marginalized groups all across Europe today. So what's being done about it? Well, from London, I took the Eurostar to Brussels. On the journey, I started wondering what the EU itself is doing about this issue. Importantly, housing policy is a competence of EU member states, meaning the individual governments have the sole responsibility to legislate on housing, the EU acting only as a supporter. Nonetheless, the European institution acts as an enormous tool for research and support in this sector, providing insightful reports such as the annual Housing in Europe interactive publication. Figures compiled by the EU demonstrate the stark reality of a broad housing crisis, not only for those living in precarious housing, but also an even wider section of society. From Brussels, I moved on to Paris. There, I got the chance to visit a street I'd called home as a COVID lockdown Erasmus student in early 2021. The street leads right onto one of Paris's largest green spaces, the Bois de Vincennes. These green spaces are a central part of the city's plan to revitalize its housing and public spaces. This plan aims to increase the level of social housing within Paris's city limits to 30% by 2030, in part by ensuring that all new developments include units designed as social housing. Although such policies stir optimism, there's always the concern that they will not equally benefit marginalized communities, especially in one of the most multicultural cities in the continent. In fact, Le Monde reported in February 2023 that 90% of black people in France experienced some form of racist discrimination. House hunting and apartment searching was one of the main areas in which this occurred. There can only be true peace and justice when everyone is included. After a hectic weekend in Paris, I took an early train to Spain, where I reconnected with friends in Barcelona, Madrid, and finally Marbella. In Spain, I also took part in an event of the European Youth Parliament. There were more than 150 young people at this conference. They spent almost a full week discussing policies for the future of Europe. Although I learned a lot about housing over the course of this trip, to me, the small glimpses we have into utopias of the future are in these moments. We will only have a peaceful and just future if we take time to listen to the utopias that others see, if we form them together with equal opportunity for voices to be heard and visions to be listened to. We all deserve a home. but we need to fight to build it.